Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers for episode 4. The first part went out a couple of days ago, went live a couple of days ago, was published a couple of days ago, however you want to say it. Thank you to everyone who's watched and enjoyed it. I'm glad you're all enjoying the series so much. I haven't responded to any of the comments yet, but if I don't respond to them, I do read all the comments. I apologise that I don't get around to responding to them all. It is my intention, but, you know, life gets in the way. And when I say life, I mean 5-year-old child and playing games more than anything. So as you may be able to see, I have taken a few of your comments on board. Some of the things you suggested are already sort of in hand. So moving the survival kit onto the base has already been done. I've got a battery on the go. It's not quite there yet, but that was something a couple of you suggested. I didn't mean to minimize the game there. I meant to do that so I can come over to the browser. So yeah, Pembroke Island, very helpful comments. Thank you very much. Commander Nick made a few points saying... didn't install dependencies for a number of the mods that I had. So I've gone through and I was under the impression, by the way, I knew some of them had dependencies, but I was very much under the impression that when you add the mod, it would automatically download any dependencies. Maybe that isn't the case, I don't know. But either way, I've gone in and added the additional mods in that he mentioned there. I've also added a couple of new mods that he suggested as well. So build vision, autofill bottles, which is very useful. We will talk about bottles in a minute, but I've added that one in as well. Auto close doors, easy block renaming, and someone else suggested, I've done it again where I minimize the game rather than just going into the menu, so I can go over to the other screen. Ben Miller suggested the colourful icons, which I already have in there, but maybe because I didn't have one of the mods, the dependencies, maybe it wasn't showing up properly. And the HUD modern fancy colour, which you can see has made a difference. As you can see, we have different mod markers, particularly down in the bottom left there. And yes, as a few, I've also added in the automatic ore pickup that Northern Nice Wolf suggested. Northern Ice Wolf, sorry, that would be. Yeah, there's only one N, because it does get a bit boring holding down the F key the whole time to do it. So yeah, thank you to everyone for your comments, very helpful. A few of you were aghast at my inability to create GPS markers. But I think we have sorted that now. So, morning is dawning. As we can see, it's a bit of a dreary, wet, miserable morning, but it is dawning. I have gone off and done a little bit off camera, so I've gone and done some ore gathering. So I've gathered ores for all of the ores that we have around us that we've already discovered. So I did get some more iron. We've got a little bit down there. We've got some down. Yeah, we've got another 3,000 iron there. As you can see, we've got thousands of nickel, cobalt, and silicon there. A piddly bit of stone in the survival kit where that's been doing stuff. And we also have up in the refinery, there it is, another few thousand of each of those as well. But we're doing okay for them. We're doing okay. Probably want to move cobalt in there because that's the one that's lacking the most at the moment. I also... We mentioned bottles. I did make some hydrogen bottles. I figured out the only way that I could actually fill them, because I didn't have the auto bottle refill mod, the only way that I could refill them, because the hydrogen tank is here, because it's connected via a small connector, it won't fill the bottles automatically, and you can't put the bottles into it, because bottles don't move through small connectors. So the reason that's a different colour is because I grinded that out so I could access the storage for the small hydrogen tank, put the bottles in it directly to refill them, and then rebuilt that block there, which is why that block is now a different colour. Ha 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 ha. Hilarious. The reason I made bottles is so I could zoom around with my jetpack and have a little bit of extra oomph, a little bit of extra reach to my jetpack. And we can see that I have found some ice, magnesium, and silicon down there. Ice, super important, so I was very happy to find that. We also found more nickel and silicon down there. What I haven't found is silver. I really wanted to find silver, but we haven't. So, that being said, we can see our algae farms are up and running. If we look over here, we've got another 5 food already down there. That's amazing. We've still got 4 in stock, and we got through the night without dying. So I think that pretty much proves that we have got enough algae farms to let us survive. I wasn't sure if, because I think I've got the food consumption rate on moderate. So it's not on the realistic, which is like the lower food consumption rate, and it's not on the hardcore one, whatever that's called, where it doubles the food consumption rate. So I wasn't too sure, because I know that I saw someone say they had 6 going and that was enough, but I couldn't remember what setting they had. So if they were on the realistic setting, where it's half the consumption rate of moderate, I may have been in trouble. But we know we have enough there, so that's great. So what is the plan for today? Well, we've got ice. Would be nice to collect some ice. Would be nice to get a H2O2 converter, I think it's called, something like that, where it takes the ice and makes hydrogen and oxygen. Confused that it's a H2O2, because isn't it H2O? So wouldn't it be a H2O converter? Why is it O2? I don't know. Or maybe it's just me not being up on my my science all that well. So we could have a go, which I think is something I suggested before, at remaking this a little bit to give us maybe some more storage or something like that, maybe a couple of extra wheels. Someone did say, I think it was David said in one of the comments, that I'm going to have to be careful if I put storage on this because it's going to get heavy and it's going to struggle. I think it was silicon seems to have a higher mass, a higher density than the other ores, and I have had to up the power on the wheels to like 50% so it could actually move. So so I took that comment on board. But yeah, so we could upgrade this, so we could give this a bit more range, we could give this a bit more storage, we could do stuff, but we still got to drill stuff by hand then, right? So I think what today's goal is going to be is we're going to come over to the assembler. We are going to get the assembler. What have we got? What do we need, I suppose, first of all? If we just wanted to make a light armor block, that needs steel plates. I think I've seen people use interior blocks for stuff. Interior walls. Yeah, so maybe we want to start building up a base, but maybe we'll use the blocks. Does that have the sci-fi ones in it? Because that seems to be a standalone one. So maybe if we put that one on our bar somewhere. And I do need to start using multiple hot bars rather than, you know, doing this all the time, because that's going to get confusing. So it does have the sci-fi ones on there as well. I don't know which one. Kind of like just the standard interior one, to be honest, rather than the sci-fi one. We've got some fancy pipework ones, but we're probably thinking about doing floors more than anything. Angles, inset wall. Okay, that's quite nice. Inset wall light. Oh, that's very nice. But mainly we're going to be concentrating on floors, so most of those aren't really going to matter too much. So, if we wanted to focus on doing walls, I didn't even look what they needed. What do they need? They are interior plates, and I think I said they were steel plates. So we need steel plates, and we need interior plates, and we're probably going to need quite a few of them. Because what I want to do today is start making the base of our new base. What's a better way of saying that? Making the start plan? I don't know. There's got to be a better way of saying that. So let's queue up. What's 100? 100 of those. Let's queue up 100 interior plates. In fact, you know what? Let's just queue up 100 of everything. Because we're probably going to, or maybe not computers. We'll do 50 computers. 100 of those. Because we're probably going to need a lot of things. We'll do 50 displays. Not explosives. Maybe girders. We think we have some girders in stock somewhere still. Maybe we'll chuck in 50 more girders. Interior plates we're doing. Large steel tubes. I don't know if we'll need those. Maybe let's just do 50 of those. Metal grids, we'll do 50 of those. Motors we'll do 100 of. Power cells we'll do maybe 50 of those. Small steel tubes we needed a lot of, so we'll add 100 of those. And that will probably see us through for the minute. So let's go over to our inventory. Let's add some steel plates and some interior plates so we can at least get the structure down for stuff. And let's eat another food just because we know we've got a lot of food coming in. And these are all working at max now. That scares me every time because I think it's coming in to kill me. Every time. We do have... so these were moving around. When there's one there without a marker on, that's... is that concerning? Should I know what that is? Should that have a marker on it? So I don't think I really have any mods on at the moment that are aggressive NPCs, shall we say. I might look to add them as we get a little bit further in and we're understanding a bit more how the game works. But yeah, so anyway. let's come over here. So we want to build our base up here-ish, up on this sort of plateau. It's quite a large plateau. It's larger than I think I really thought it was. We do need to refill our hydrogen, actually, so we probably should jump in our car. So maybe we'll do it like here-ish and over. But we want it to be... This is like the highest point, I think. So we want to make sure that this part is going to fix. And then we want to make sure that this obviously attaches to our base. Woo! Overshot that a little bit. Okay, no worries. Let's jump in this. Let's get our hydrogen filled. If we pop into our inventory, we can see our hydrogen bottles are also filling up. I really like that. I guess I can kind of see why it doesn't do it automatically, because why would you have a way of filling bottles off of your suit? But then again, they must plug into your suit to fill it with hydrogen, so why not be able to have like a little toggle where you say, no, fill the bottles. Actually, no, I take it back. I think it makes complete sense to have it fill bottles. Right, I'm just going to press everything until I get out of the car. Woo, it's been like 2 days since I've played, so I've got no idea what I'm doing. So we want to come down here. We're going to just start with these for the moment. We're just going to make just a stupid little connection over here. None of this is permanent. We'll have to replace this with conveyors at some point, because we're obviously going to want to be able to move the stuff that's on our base over here. But right now I just want to get some connections over here so we can actually start planning out a base. So that looks like about the right sort of height, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't think that's going to go underground at any point. Now we may want to dig down into the ground at some point anyway, just to like build some stuff underground. Is that a good idea? I've got no idea. But yeah, we want to get something in place where we're going to say this is going to be the sort of initial layout of our base. So where do I want this? I'd rather not have the tree in the way, I think. So what if we say it's going to be, yeah, like sort of where it is pretty much. If we, what was that? Yeah, I'm kind of happy with that. Okay, so let's say that that's going to be that far edge, and we're going to bring that out, and we're going to do that, and we're going to go and grind that up, because that, you're not supposed to be there. I'm going to bring this out to about here. Yeah. And then we're going to bring this out quite far. Oh, it's almost there actually, isn't it? So maybe we do just come like all the way pretty much to like there. And then we put something underneath so we say that it's actually fixed to the ground. And then if we come over here, I think I'm probably, maybe we'll go out like another, how many? 2. So if we come out maybe like another 2 there, and then we'll just fix it to the ground, just so we can say it's fixed to the ground. Let's come out from this side a bit. Like I said, we might want to come out and replace these with interior floors, or maybe we'll leave like the outside as interior armored blocks. Or like a couple of... Okay, so that's going to be the sort of base layout, which I think seems relatively big. And I have an idea of what I want to do for... So that's the other thing. I didn't get to the other point. So the other thing I want to do is I want to... Do we just have one layer of... Yeah, let's just do one layer of light armor, and then the middle we'll do with interior blocks. Is there a massive build cost difference? So light armor block is 25 steel plates. It is quite a lot of difference, isn't it? Maybe we just stick with steel plates for the moment. We can always come back and replace it later. I don't know whether that's a silly thing to say. How difficult will it be to replace later? Oh yeah, I don't know. I'm changing my mind a bit. Do you know what? I'm going to assume that the floors... The interior blocks can transfer power and everything on a grid the same way that the that they can. So I'm going to go with interior blocks for all of these. And just to make sure, if we change to the sci-fi, yeah, no, I prefer that one. I do prefer that one. Why can't I? I've already run out of interior plates. That will explain it. Okay, let's come over here. Interior plates. Come down here. I think we're out of iron, so let's grab this and move that there. So you'll start doing some more iron, and then we're going to come here and grab these interior plates, which we can't hold a lot of, so let's move those back in there and grab a few more interior plates. Perfect. And then let's get all of this filled in, but not that bit. Oh, and it started doing them in a different orientation, which really winds me up. I don't know how far. I can't tell what that that's something that does frustrate me a bit, is I can't tell the orientation by looking at the block. I suppose that one shows me that, yeah, it's got the cross on top, so that's how I tell. So I take it back, it does absolutely tell you. But as soon as you start looking at something else, it changes the orientation, which I do find very frustrating. And how many interior plates are we gonna... Nope. Okay, do you know, I'm gonna get this filled in and go past this silliness, and then we'll cut back in a second. So we have our base down. I have more to do, and really before I was going to bring you back in, but I thought I'd show you what I've got at the moment. So this is the basic base layout. I have extended it by one block in either direction, so it is an odd number of blocks. So we have a middle. I have put a conveyor junction in the middle there, and then I've connected single direction pipes, tubes, down each of the four sort of cardinal points, which it pretty much would be, because that should be pretty much east over there. But yeah, that's just as a sort of starting point, so we can branch off in various places when we start putting stuff down. I have also got a series of tubes that I have started building, but I've ran out of iron, that I've started building, and they're going to go all the way along there, connecting there. That's pretty much a temporary measure until we completely get rid of this base, but for now we need that there. I do wonder if this entire video is going to be base building. There was something else I wanted to do. I can't remember if I mentioned it or not, but if I haven't, I'm not going to say it now. We'll probably save that for the next one. So I need to go and get a metric butt ton of iron, I guess. Yeah, alright, let's go do that. We have almost finished our second load of iron.
Inventory full.
I'm going to leave a little bit there, unfortunately, because the car's full. This is what the iron mine looks like now, by the way. So where's the entrance gone? The entrance is up here. It's getting quite sizable, and a lot of iron left in there, he should say. I'm pretty sure we can't fit anything else. No, that's fine. So let's head back to the base. As I say, with this second load of iron. So that's not where the base is. That's where the base is. Very nearly smashed into the grid there. Yep, I was going to say, as I was coming up to this, I think I'm getting better at the old reversing. And I thought I'm not going to say that before I actually do it, because I'm guaranteed to absolutely cock it up and make a fool of myself. But I didn't, because I'm amazing. Awesome. So, right, where is the refinery? You're going to go there. The cockpit's got a whole bunch in. So yeah, I don't think I got as much from the first load. I want to go into the survival kit down there with you and down there with you. We've got another, we've got loads of iron actually. We've got too much iron to fit into our storage. I suppose it doesn't matter because the rover isn't going anywhere in the short term because that's full. Not want to put it in there. Yeah, we've basically got too much iron to fit and it's all stuck in the rover. That's fine. That's going to get us lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of bits. So, actually not entirely sure why I brought you back at this point, because all I'm going to do now is say goodbye again while I go and finish welding up all of these pipes and bits. So, goodbye. Okay, we are finally there. So we have completed this tube all the way from the base over to here. We've got some protected, reinforced conveyor tubes going underneath to the middle there. Even betterly pronounced. Yep. smooth as you like. Over here I've changed this from being a conveyor junction to being a cargo container, so we can access the inventory from here and we can pull out bits we need when we're building stuff rather than having to fly all the way over there to do so. The other thing I should mention, by the way, is when I've been collecting stuff over the last video or two, or in between videos and two, I have now learned to do alt middle click to drop components into the terminals or into the containers or into your vehicle, so you haven't got to go into the inventory every time. I'm sure that's going to come up in the comments in the next couple of videos that you guys are going to see, so episodes 2 and 3, because I think in those I am still doing it the stupid way. But yeah, I do know that now. So we have the basic layout for our base. We have this big old rectangle. We've got some underfloor tubing, although obviously it's not all being built yet. I only wanted to get that bit in so we could get access to that, so we can think about where everything's going to go. I kind of assume this is going to stay on the outside as like a little edge, but I suppose we could always extend it later if we need to. So what do we need in our base? Well, we need a refinery. We do have the industrial refinery, but that does take 1200 steel plate. That might be a little bit above us at the moment. So let's stick the... Do you know what? Let's go on to toolbar 2. So let's get the refinery. This is... The toolbar 2 is going to be like machines. We also have a prototech refinery, but that takes prototech stuff, and we definitely can't afford that. We're going to need an assembler. So let's pop assembler down there as well. What else are we going to need? We are going to need our survival kit. So let's pop survival kit down there. We are going to need a H2O2 generator. So let's put that one down there. Let's get ourselves a sort of... Well, is there anything else we need? Food processor. Yes, there is. We need a food processor. Let's go back to this one. We need a food processor. Is there anything else we need that we have currently down here? Survival kit, food processor, assembler, refinery. No, that's pretty much it. Obviously, we've got the algae farms and everything, and that'll have to be remade over here at some point, but that's where we are for now. Okay. Let's think. So that's all of the tools we want. So if we go to toolbar 3, let's make this like... let's put storage here. So what's that? Containers they're called in this. I think the large containers... Yeah, I think they are all the modular container. And I don't think the medium container is in this list. If I select that... Oh, they are all there. But they're not showing up. So if I just pop that there a second. Small, cargo, cargo half, large, large industrial, small. So we have the small cargo container, the medium cargo container with the small ports, even though it's got big ports on as well. A large one. And then the modular one, which I quite like the look of, but we don't appear to have the able to use that one on the base. Because they're classed as small block variants. Now I can't swap back to the standard block size. Why won't it let me swap back? Oh, I don't get that. If we go to here and go to this. Okay, so that's okay. So if I go back to here and go to this, we now have the large block size. And I can't place this because I don't have the components, I'm guessing. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So, what I'm thinking is, so we don't want to start right in the corner. We want to leave ourselves a little bit of space around. Probably 2. If we say 2, how much does that give us over there? That gives us a few blocks, I suppose. Just thinking that gives us room then to do sort of pipe work and stuff behind it. So if we go over here, we need a refinery. Yes. Is the refinery this big before? Am I just going mad? Industrial refinery, which takes 1,000. No, these are bigger ones. That's the refinery one. Basic refinery. So we're going to want that. We're going to want to get some steel plates and interior plates, most likely, aren't we? Let's come in here. Let's grab some steel plates and some interior plates so we can just pop stuff down. Okay. And let's remember where we were. So we wanted to come in probably 2, so there. So a basic refinery there. We then want an assembler. What other assembler types do we have? We've got the industrial assembler, which costs the same, but its port layout is probably not what I would want. Oh, it does have one at the back there. Do I like the look of that one, or do I like the look of... Oh, so it is significantly bigger for very little. I'm trying to see in the oh, so you can put optional upgrades on that one. Oh, that's what those ports are for. So they're not small ports, they're optional upgrade ports. So maybe we do want that one. We also have the basic assembler, and then the assembler, and then this one, because the cost is the same for the base assembler. So if we put this one in... Do you know what? I'm going to put this one over here. So 1, 2, so here. I'm going to flip it around, and it's going to want to come to here. It should leave us... I think that's not enough, isn't it? Oh no, that is what we left us before. We left us 1 space behind. Okay, so that's where we're going to have that, and that should be in line with the refinery. Yeah, okay, so we've got to kind of like define zones for them. Then we have a survival kit, so let's pop this one here. And then we have the survival kit type 2. Which looks like that and has a port on the bottom, which isn't the end of the world. We could get that connected. And would probably be tidier. Because this one doesn't have ports on the bottom. Yeah, let's go with the survival kit type 2. So if we're going to pop that there, would be where we want that. So let's go back to toolbar 1. Get this, take this out. So here we are going to want some form of conveyor. Do we want to just hedge our bets and say, let's put a conveyor junction in there? Just so we have... I suppose nothing's really going to go... Or maybe it is. Let's hedge our bets. Let's put a conveyor junction in there. And then we want this Type 2 survival kit to go... What was that one, wasn't it? Hold on. Yeah. It's hard to tell sometimes. Conveyor junction. So we want this to go here. Yeah. Sure, that's going to go there. There wasn't a massive... No, there was no cost difference between them. We then also have an O2H2 generator, which I think makes sense to have close to this anyway. You also have a port on the bottom. As well as a port in the front and the back. Now then, I think because it's got a port in the bottom, we'll do the same thing here. We'll take this out. We'll put in a conveyor junction. And pop that there. I don't mind putting that right next to that because we're never going to want another survival kit. But food is maybe a little... In fact, so do we want more than one food processor? Maybe at some point? I mean, a lot of this might want to move at some point because I don't know it needs to be quite as spread out as it is. And we probably want to take... Yeah, we might want to move those at some point as well. But I suppose let's just think about what we've got for the minute. I think for now we're just going to put the food processor right here, just because we're going to say... This section here is kind of like the health section. And all of these things are sort of directly related to our health. Speaking of which, let's eat some food. Okay, so that's where we want those. Those have got conjunctions. They've got junctions in there. And I think this one here is a reinforced conveyor tube. So if we take this one out, and this one out, and this one out, and this one out, and this one out, we can make... they're probably going to come off of there, aren't they? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, it's not much of a muchness. But let's put a conveyor junction in there just so it's there. And then we want to change this into conveyor tubes reinforced. And yes, I have very deliberately left it so the tube is visible. That is a very purposeful choice on my part. I like it when the tubes are visible underfoot. I like that. I think that looks cool. I think it's going to add a bit of character to the base so it isn't just all very flat and monotone. Although maybe we'll try and do things with colors as well at some point. So, you know, we'll get there. So, what next? We need to start grinding. We need to start planning some of this side out. So you, the basic refinery, press the Windows key. The basic refinery, did that break the recording? No, we're okay. Basic refinery, yeah, your ports are on the front and the back. But do we want to do something a bit different here? Do we want to say we are going to have storage over here somewhere, and we're going to shunt all of the ores, like maybe here would be a good place for it, all of the ores into storage. Using a right, so let's actually just sort of plan this out a bit. So let's get our grinder. So let's just get rid of these 3 for the moment, and we're probably going to need to get rid of hello, missed, it's fine, we'll get there. And we're going to want to get rid of this one at some point. So if we had we don't want that. What am I looking for? You. So at this point we would want a T junction. So we'd want it to go like that. We would then want an S, which I think you are, but we probably don't want that to be the reinforced one because this is going above ground. Or this might actually want to go one back, but let's just go with it and see what we think. So we'd want an S, then we would want a sorter cube. In fact, is that in that list anyway? I don't know. Let's replace the connector there because we're not going to need that for a little while. Industrial conveyor sorter. Is that just... yeah, it's just a DLC one. Let's pop that... yeah, sure. Let's pop that there just so we can see them both. So. This has got 2 large ports, and it sorts stuff in that way. The industrial sorter... I have no idea which way it actually sorts. Oh, because there are some arrows on top. Do I like the industrial sorter? I kind of do. I think I prefer the look of it compared to the other one. It's not as obvious what it's doing, maybe. So what I'm thinking is this would go here. This would then be set to filter out ores. We need something underneath, which is probably just going to be a straight tube, which we would want there, like that. We would then want how would we want this to work? So you shunt all the ores. Do you just shunt all the ores directly? And you want all the ores going into storage, don't you? Then do you want the ores going directly into the refineries, or do you want them going back into the system? Because this is going to have to be connected to the system to get the stuff out, isn't it? So how does that work? I suppose this just puts the ores somewhere so they're more accessible. So if we then put a conveyor junction there, yeah, conveyor junction there, and then an S going into that, and then an S going down there, although I'm going to probably have to remove that so we can get underneath it. And then underneath here we're going to want, what are we going to want? We probably want a T. Oh, I don't want containers, I'm in the wrong thing. Probably want a T so we can move stuff down if we want to at some point. So we pop that one in there. No, we need a reinforced T. What am I doing? What am I doing? Reinforced T. Yeah, like that. And then we would want another curved S like that. Wait, except this isn't going into any storage. This is sorting it, and it's sorting it into nothing at the moment, isn't it? So we want to get rid of you. You are a conveyor junction. We could just change you into a store, couldn't we? And then you just shunt all the ores into a store? Does that make sense? Cargo terminal, small cargo container. Small cargo container. So you would go there. You would go there. Right, so this will be connected to this, so this is going to have to change into probably into a conveyor junction. Pipes along here. The pipes continue along there, but this also pulls out any ores, puts them into that storage, but that storage has got being fed from there anyway. But I suppose this just makes sure the ores are there. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm getting myself all confused in my head. I'm going to leave it at that for now. We've got this performance issue message coming up, although nothing is affecting my frame rate, so I'm not very concerned about that. I wonder if there's a way to actually turn that off. So we want this to go like this. Nope, you went wrong. Get rid of you. Think, no, you there, and you there, and you are almost certainly going to have to be a conveyor junction, because you're going to have 4 connections, aren't you? Yeah, so that's sort of what I'm thinking. Does it make sense? Oh, I got no idea. So we are going to want to build this, because I'm going to have to go all the way over here to get that stuff because I've broken the connection to the rest of it. Okay, middle click. Okay, shift middle click. That probably won't take very long. Cannot withdraw. It's because our inventory's full. That's why it can't withdraw, I suppose. So if we pop this down there, this down there. Yep, that did it. That did it. We're also going to want some lights around as well, of course, to make our base look super fancy at night. If we get this one up and running, do we just not have interior plates? Okay, and then we come over here and we'll add this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Do we have any bits on us? Not really, that's fine. Come over here, grab this.
Energy low.
So you'll have to let me know if my thoughts are even close to being correct. I don't know if you want the ores as a separate input to the refinery, rather than going back into the system. So would that just come out and connect straight into there? And make this one a T so it could connect to other things? Because the ores don't technically have to go anywhere else, do they? Oh, hold on, that's a good point. The ores don't technically have to go anywhere else. So maybe I am going to change this up. I'm going to get rid of this. 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 No, because this has to be connected to the system still, doesn't it? Yeah, that's why. That's the bit that I think is confusing me. This has to be connected into the system. So if that's connected to the system so that the ingots can get out, then we need to have this connected. Yeah, let's put it back to what it was. So we had that there. We had a reinforced T-junction here, which was this way. And then we just had some S's, didn't we? I found that sometimes it depends on what block you're looking at with tubes. Determines whether you can rotate them or not. I don't know why that is, but I have found that. Right, so let's do that, let's do that, let's do that. Let's see what bits we can pull out. And then let's just say add them all to production, because if we don't have them for this, we may as well get them built for other stuff. I think we might actually be out of steel plate. Probably want to build the one underneath first, I guess. I'm not too sure. Let's add that one to the build planner. Come over here. Add that in. Get some of this done. Alright, yeah, energy. We can't do that up here yet because that needs a survival kit. Let's come down here. Fill up on energy. So I think I mentioned in the first video about the length of the videos and what you guys might like. It's quite hard for me to know exactly how long a video is going to end up as I'm doing it, unless I do a lot of back and forth and I stop the recording and I bring it into my video editing and I look at where it is, and it's all a bit of a hassle and it gets a little bit laborious because then I've got to wait for the video to do its audio stuff. And yeah, it's just a bit of a pain. So I'm just going to sort of wing it, I think. Because that's the kind of YouTuber I am. I take this stuff seriously. So I'm just going to wing it. And maybe do like between an hour and a half and 2 hours of recording. Is that in the build planner? I'm pretty sure that is. And then just sort of see what it ends up with, basically. All right, so we've got that. Need a couple more motors. I'm assuming this stuff is all in the queue. Yeah, we've got lots of stuff in the queue. Okay. Probably more than enough stuff in the queue. Probably more stuff than we can actually build, because I'm guessing we are out of iron ore. Yes, of course we are. And so how many iron ingots do we have? I suppose they're all being used in the assembler, but we've got about 1,000 at the moment, which isn't a lot. We definitely do need more. Is that silver? Oh, it's silicon. Oh, just for a second there I saw SI. I forgot that silver is AG. Maybe. We might want to think about turning some of this off as well as we're building it, because I suppose it won't be. Does it draw power? Let's just turn you off. Where's your terminal? Let's turn you off. Just so they're not drawing power, because we don't want to draw power away from anything else while this is doing. This is going to have to be set up. So this we want to whitelist. Now there is something which just says ore, but I have heard that if you put ore into the filter, it includes ice. So I think we need to do this manually. So if we just search for ore, we say cobalt. How do you double click? Double click. Is it because it's off? Oh, there's a specific add button. How annoying you can't just double click. Alright, turn you back off before I forget. Cobalt, gold, iron, magnesium, nickel, platinum, silicon, silver, uranium. So all of the ores are going to be whitelisted. We want that to drain all, because we want it to pull in stuff. So when we connect our car to the base, we want this to go and suck all the ores straight into this so they can be refined by this. In fact, now that's up and oh, it's not connected yet, is it? That's the thing. Let's come over here. Let's do this. We're waiting for 4 motors. Why can't I withdraw 4 motors? So we need interior plates and a few motors and interior plates. If I go up to you and say, give me 4 motors. What's happening with my motors? Do I just not have any motors? I mean, I guess not, because they're not being made, so I don't have any motors. No. Okay. Oh, don't have interior plates. What did I need motors for? What did I need motors for? Everything's built. What did I need motors for? So I just need interior plates for that. I think I might have needed motors for that as well. Just run down here, make sure this is all 100%. You are not, you just need industrial plates as interior plates as well. That's fine. Let's go here and just do a quick search for interior plates. Boop. And then let's go and, oh, well, there's one of these which wasn't finished off. What was, where were you? Where were you? Who were you? Which wasn't, I swear I just saw it. Was it you I was thinking of? Might have been you. I don't know if I'm going a bit mad. You. There we go. Okay, so actually now we could, if we come over to you, basic refinery. Is this definitely you? How do I tell if you're on or off? You got a red light there. If I turn you on, green light. Okay. So I'm going to change, can I, excuse me. Oh, coffee. I don't want to block group. Can I just change the name of the block? Yeah, of course I can. It's right there. So I'm going to call this base 1 refinery. Just going to call it refinery. Just so we know, in fact I'm going to put refinery 1 on it. Just so we know which one is our base 1. Same with the other bits when we get to them. We'll change the name of those. I'm going to put here base 1 industrial conveyor sorter, just so we know. If I'm going to, so now I'm going to turn that on. I'm going to turn this one on. I'm going to turn the basic refinery off, because this should now be pulling all the ores through this, which should be going into this store here, which they're not. That's probably because they're being pulled straight into that. Do they need to go into a store? I suppose if there's too much in this. So it'll pull the ores out of stuff, and then it will probably go straight into the refinery, but if there's too many, it'll probably go into that, because I don't... Does this have... It has 1,000 litres of storage. Okay. So if we look at this now, this has now got all of the ores, and if we come over here, and we look for ores... So base refinery 3, maybe it can't pull ores out of existing refineries. So if we, and that's small cargo container 4, is that this cargo container? Yeah, so let's change this one. Base 1, small cargo container. So that one is now bringing ores into it, because the ores are being drained out of this system by this. It's going into that storage because this is now full and it can't put anything else in there. Well, it's not at the moment, but it will get there, I suppose. So if we do a search for ore now, so base 1 has got ores, base 1 small cargo container, the base 1... Oh yeah, that's the basic refinery. So this we want to put, in fact, I want to put this So the basic refinery 3. This. I want to try putting this somewhere else. Yeah, and that's then been immediately drained and put elsewhere. That's exactly what we wanted to see. Okay, sweet. So now we can say... Yeah, basic refinery 3 is off and should have nothing in its inventory. So I want to double check. So I want to be very, very clear. Basic refinery 3. Oh, it's got lots of stuff there, I suppose. We are going to have to move that out elsewhere. Because we are going to want to get rid of that at some point. Okay, so that's basically what I'm thinking. Same thing over here. We'll do the same thing with all this weird setup over here. So the ingots will be pulled out of the basic refinery. They can go through this tube here and through the system over here. And then we'll get that done there. So I'm going to see how far I can get with that. And then we'll probably have to call the video soon because it has been over an hour and a half now. So we'll see. We'll see how we go. Okay, cool. Right, back in a moment. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. I just saw something. Well, you're broken. You should definitely be unhappy with me. So one of the mods has broken the walls. It's obviously spawned in but doesn't know what to do. I think that might be the AI enabled one. I think, remember, if I look... Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I might have another look, but if you have any suggestions in the comments, let me know. In the meantime, I'm really sorry, doggo. Oh, hold on. So it did attack me? It did attack me after I shot it in the face a few times. Okay. We've got some meat. That's something. That's something. Right. I was about to go and get some more iron. Let's go and get some more iron. Alright then. So we have got our assembler up and running as well. Same thing as over here. Tubes coming in. Tubes continue underneath and go up into there. There's an S-bend comes out into an ingot sorter, which just sorts out the ingots group, which I think is fine. That then goes into this storage container, and then that then gets fed into this, which obviously feeds back into the system by going underneath. Does that all make sense? I've got no idea. But that's what we've got. That's where we have ended up. So, I have now been recording for almost 2 hours, so it's almost certainly time for me to stop. I did hear a wolf howl about 2 minutes ago, by the way, and what sounded like feet running away. Little cheeky wolf feet. So I don't know if there is a wolf somewhere, if that sound just triggers when it spawns a wolf nearby, just to, you know, get you in the mood for some animal slaughter. But I've ran around a couple of times and I've not seen anything. Obviously it's dark and my torch only goes so far. But yeah. Anyway, I think we've made some super progress today. So what we can do is we can come down to production. There's nothing in the production queue there. We probably want to change... You are already called the basic refinery, but the industrial assembler... we want to call the base 1 industrial assembler, just so we know where everything is. So if we have a look over here, so this is producing lots and lots of ores for us. That's great. The assembler here, we want to move all of this out into something. Hold on, isn't your cargo, aren't you? So we want to change the name of you. So you're just going to be Base 1 Central. Base 1 Central Small Cargo Container. Okay. And if we come into you... So we want to move everything out of the assembler up into the storage there. So this assembly, it's doing this weird thing down here. We might be doing it with the ingots as well. Maybe we'll look. where obviously the sorter is being told to drain the ingots, drain the ore. So it's draining the ore from the ore storage and then just putting the ore back into the ore storage. I don't know if I change the order of that, if it changes which one it does. Oh, it does, but then it just puts that back there for some reason. So yeah, I've almost certainly set something up wrong. So you're all going to have to tell me in the comments why I'm an idiot. Because something ain't working right. Anyway, last thing I want to do, because I think we're in a really good position. I think we are almost at the beginning of the next day, so it's a good time for us to maybe think about stopping. I think we are out of... no, yeah, we are, because I was just looking at the base 1 refinery. We have no iron in the base 1 refinery. So we do need to get some more iron. Although we do have 4,000 ingots in stock, so maybe we're not in that bad a position. So, well, the last thing I want to do before we finish up for today is to come over here. Just double check these to make sure there is nothing in their inventories. And then we are going to grind these down. And then we're going to realize we have got full inventory. So we're going to find the base 1 central cargo container. We're going to get rid of all of this before we start losing bits. And then we're going to grind this down. Because I think that's then some good visual indication that we've made progress. Good progress. Inventory full. Do we have... we might be able to get onto... Why can't I jump on the survival kit? Why can't I jump on the survival kit? What makes the survival kit so special? Yeah, we can get to there just about. Okay. So base 1 central. Let's drop this stuff in there. That also, I was going to say it also means we don't need this, but we do need this because that is still connected down to there. Awesome. Right. Time for us to finish up then. Next time, I might try and do a little bit more of the build in to get these bits up in between this and the next episode. Yeah, just so we have everything in place, and next time we can think about moving on to the next stage, which will be to dismantle most of this. We do also need to move our algae and wind production over to the base and think of a pretty way of doing that. And then we need to think about moving on to the next stage, which is improving our mining capabilities. And also, which one was the... yeah, that was the O2 generator. So how are we going to get... We're going to have like a separate ice store? So, because they've got a conveyor underneath, haven't they? So maybe we sort of pull ice... Because it's going to come from over here. Yes, maybe put like a T-junction in there. Bring that here. Bring that up. Sorter goes down into storage there, which connects to there, and then that will be the ice loop. But like I say, I'm pretty sure I've misunderstood, but I might build all that, and then I'll wait for this video to come out. By that time I'll be on like episode 6 or 7 probably, and you guys can tell me, like I say, why I'm an idiot. Because that's what people like to do, and that's absolutely fine. So, I did actually email Keen Software asking for a key for the game, which I don't do very often. But I did in this case. And I did say that I would like to do a Let's Play series, and I'm sure that basically what will happen is I'll be an idiot, and all the viewers will tell me the stuff that I'm doing wrong. Because that is what happens. I'm not one of those YouTubers who tends to get really, really good at games, and then I have like all my own blueprints and my own tutorial videos, and I show people everything that they're doing wrong and what you should do instead and why I'm the great... No, I don't do that. I struggle along so that people can watch me struggle. And I'm going off a bit of a tangent here, but that's the kind of, when I was looking to play Space Engineers, I don't necessarily want to watch a series of someone who's playing the game for 5 years and has got 2,000 hours in it. I don't want to watch someone breeze through it. I like watching someone like me, who's a noob, who's basically never played the game before. I like watching them come into it to see how they deal with the game. I think that's a much more interesting series. Obviously, people who know what they're doing is definitely has its place, and I have watched those videos and I have learned a lot from them. So that's why a few of you said, oh, you did really well for your first video, and a few people actually said, like, oh, if this was actually your first time playing, then you did really good. And it pretty much was. Like I say, I did some of the tutorial mission bits for like maybe an hour, but the first video was the first time I ever landed on a planet in Space Engineers. It's just that I have watched a few videos in preparation before I was even really planning on playing the game, because they just popped into my YouTube suggestions, and I did sort of get a bit of a feel for what the beginning should be like. Yeah, anyway, weird little side tangent ramble over. We're going to finish it up now. Again, thank you to everyone for watching. I hugely appreciate it. Really enjoy your comments and appreciate those as well. Like, more comments, subscribe if you're not subscribed. I will see you next time in Space Engineers, where we will hopefully have at least all the bits we need finished off, and then we will think about what is next for us. And I have plans. Oh, I have so many plans. As always, thank you very much for joining me.